Hello, and welcome to Mana Salsa. Today we have from Ireland, Jack, only by the night.
Hello.
And from Scotland, we have Fox 2099.
Hello, laddie.
And from New England, we have Sudzu 2200.
Hello.
And from New York, it's Mana Shark.
Hello.
And from US of A, we have myself, TheDrownedgod. We have a bunch of Besieged spoilers to talk about, so let's get right on it. Fox, what do you think about a quarters paladin?
Right, first of all, I'm going to just go straight off the bat here and say none of these spoilers are that fantastic, in my opinion. They don't do anything for me. They're just run of the mill. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more to this set to entice me to go to the pre-release. But anyway, a Corder Paladin, 3-1 for 2. He's not that good, which is why he's an uncommon.
Sudzu 2200, what's your opinion?
He's alright. He kind of reminds me of Giant Soul Fuge, in that he's only going to attack once, but he gets pretty big when he attacks, and he's pretty deadly. I think the cool thing is the synergy between a Quarter's Paladin and a Quarter's Shield. Make him a 3-4 Vigilance, has Battle Cry, it's pretty sweet.
Sweet. Jack, what's your take on a Quarter Paladin?
I'm not excited about it. I like the new mechanic for sure. It fits in really good with night decks. Besides that, he's not great.
I think a Quarter Paladin is pretty exciting for white weenie enthusiasts. With the new mechanic Battle Cry, all your other dudes get +1.
Whatever, you have 3 creatures out. You wouldn't mind playing a turn 4 to pump them up. I just think that would be a waste of mana when you could be paying 1 and playing Brave the Elements and making all your creatures unblockable.
Mana Shark, what's your take on a Quarter Paladin and Battle Cry?
I think he's going to help push in an extra 3 or 4 damage, and he'll for sure fit in White Weenie and maybe Boros.
Fox, Flayer Husk.
No comment.
Okay.
That is rubbish. Rubbish.
Okay. Sudzu 2200, what do you think?
It's the new Jace.
There we go.
It's okay. It's not constructed worthy, but it's got really good value in limited. It's the problem in limited is if you draw too many equipment, not enough creatures, and then you're kind of screwed because you only have equipment and nothing to put it on. So this kind of helps you with needing creatures to make equipment good by, just giving it you right off the bat. I think there's going to be some more exciting cards coming out with this mechanic.
Mana Shark, what do you think?
I see this putting up a blocker, and after the creature dies, you could equip it to either a flyer or a creature with infect to help beat him for extra damage, or you could just play a Glinthawk and bounce it right back. So I think it's going to be a really good card in Limited.
Cool. Fox, Septic Rats.
Better. A lot better, especially when you're playing Infect. It goes along very nicely. Chances are you'll be playing with Plague Stinger before this, and they should potentially have a poison counter, especially the way people run Infect decks with pump spells. Yeah, game could close out very fast with this card.
Jack, think of Septic Rats.
Yeah, it's good. In limited, I'd say, definitely.
Mana Shark, Septic Rats.
He's amazing. Let's assume he comes into play as a 3-3, with Infect is a 6-6 for only 3 mana. So, especially if Infect becomes a viable deck in Standard, I could see him as a staple for Infect.
Sudzu.
He's kind of interesting. He's definitely very good for limited. I don't know if he's going to have a place in constructed because I don't think Infect's going to be ever good in constructed.
Very nice. Jack, what do you think about Hero of the Blade Hold?
She's great, amazing. Seems pretty playable to me, just from the spoilers we've gotten so far. We have Student of Warfare, we have Hero of the Blade Hold. You could throw in, your Honor of the Pure, which
Night
would just be
Exemplar.
nuts. Exactly, and Brave the Elements. And
Emerge unscathed.
yeah, and you could throw in Gideon for some good measure. I think a deck like that would be really, really powerful.
Sudzu, Hero of the Blade Hold.
I think it's definitely better than Glissa, which is why I'm probably going to do Marin at the pre-release. It's pretty powerful. It swings for 7. If the soldiers don't die, they continue to attack for 2, and you continue to get more. So, left unchecked can be pretty good, and it's going to draw a lot of removal. It definitely has a lot of potential.
Mana Shark.
I think it's a mini white Grave Titan. It's some sort of one-man army. If you don't deal with it quickly, it could get really out of hand. But yeah, I could see this shooting up to $15.
Fox, what's your take on Hero of the Blade Hold?
Yeah, I like it. We've got this Night Exemplar card. nothing to go with it, so we better start bringing out some knights. And this is a really good addition. Like they say, it swings for 7. It can die just as easily, but it's still a nice card.
That's a famous argument for a lot of cards out there, but it dies to everything. Yeah, it seems to me at the local store that I go to that everybody's excited about building a knight deck so they can get that knight exemplar out. Mana Shark, do you like Glissa the Trader?
I like any elf, especially one that could be an EDH general. You know, she's pretty good. I could see maybe in standard if you have a green-black elf deck and you could reoccur Eldrazi monuments and spell bombs. So she has potential, but I don't see a reason why to pick her up so early. Her price will probably go down.
Fox, Glissa the Trader.
I like her just as a casual card. To get her full benefit, you really have to be playing with a lot of artifacts, I suppose. But no, the first strike is nice actually, because like other than that, I'd rather just use a Vampire Nighthawk.
Sudzu.
Her awkward mana cost and the fact that her abilities are kind of random doesn't look very good to me. Like, First Strike Death Touch is always really good, and that's going to be crazy and limited, but the artifact thing seems kind of irrelevant, seeing like any elf deck isn't going to be running artifacts. The only cool thing I could really see doing with her is like using Executioner's Capsule, killing a guy, and then Glissa triggers and brings it right back, but that's not in standard, so I don't see it doing much.
I've always been a big fan of equipping a Death Toucher with First Strike or a First Striker with Death Touch, you know, like Baskel's cards or something. I always think that's funny. Apparently, everybody saw how powerful that combination is for abilities and made her legendary, so you can only have one out at a time, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and talk about the Crusaders. They've been spoiled for a really long time. Sudzu.
The Phyrexian Crusader he's pretty sweet. He has the whole First Strike Infect thing going on, so you power him down first before they get to do their damage. He has definitely the more relevant protections, so you're not going to be able to Journey to Nowhere or Lightning Bolt him. I think he's really going to be key in killing Boros decks, because like they really can't do anything against him at all, and he's just going to First Strike down their like Step Lynxes and just kill them. I don't think he's really relevant for Infect decks, mostly because I don't think Infect decks themselves are relevant. And the Mirrodin Crusader has like better abilities, and then he has Double Strike rather than First Strike. Black is obviously good because he dodges Doomblade, but like green doesn't seem that great.
Elves.
It could be good against elves, but I don't think really that any decks running white are having a problem with elves really right now. I'm not really sure which one's better. I wouldn't be unhappy to open either of them, even though Mirrodin Crusader's weapon looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like that thing from Star Trek.
What is he gonna do with that? What is it? It's like shaped like a bow, but it's not.
The weird thing is the bottom part of the handle. I mean, who's he going to hit with that? He's only got one part to swing it with. He's got all this metal floating about him as well. Is he Magneto? I don't. What is he?
I would like to point out that it would be pretty sweet to put a Sword of Body and Mind on Phyrexian Crusader.
Ooh.
Get a First Strike, protection from everything but black, Infect, dude, 4/4 in those two sweet abilities.
You can't Doomblade him.
That's sick. What do you think, Jack?
See, they're both really good, but I think Mirrodin Crusader's probably the better one. Last but not least,
Doctor's Assembly. What do you think, Sudzu?
He suffers from, or unconstructed, like 6 items, which is, he costs 6. There's a bunch of sweet cards that are like really good, like Steel Hellkite, but they don't see any play because it costs 6, and that's how much Grave Titan, Primeval Titan, and Wormcoil Engine cost, and they're just hidden shoulders over anything else that costs 6. So I don't really see it making an impact in Standard, but in Limited, there's really not much more you could want. It turns on Metalcraft, it's 6 targets for your opponent to kill. Like, how do they beat it? I don't really see how. Like, you can chump forever. How do they beat it? I don't really see how. Like, you can chump forever while swinging with a giant 5/5. It just seems really good.
Mana Shark, is Doctor Assembly a bomb in Limited?
Hell yeah. So it gives you blockers, gives you offense. Not extended, you have the Time Save combo. So I could see him making decent impact on limited as well as extended.
Fox.
First off, Mana Shark, do you work for WotC? Because you've not said one bad thing about any of these cards.
Herald of Evan Irwin.
Yeah, beat it, Evan Jr. In Limited, very strong 5/5 flyer. In Standard, not so much, because Baneslayer will just bring it down. I don't care if you've got 5/1/1s. Every time you attack one, I block one with Baneslayer, gain 5 life while taking 4, so I'm on the fence on this one. I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
I didn't miss anything, did I?
The pre-release, you get to pick which booster packs you want.
I'm going to go with Mirrodin just to get bloody Hero of the Bladehold.
I think I'm going to do the exact same.
Me too.
Same.
At my shop, they're going to do an interesting two-headed giant format on their pre-release for this Sunday. It should be fun. Okay, guys. Thank you, everyone, YouTubers, for showing up to watch another episode of Mana Salsa. This is the Drowned God.
See you now. Take care. Bye.
Peace.
We are featured on mtgcast.com. Awesome sauce.
Cool beans.
Okay.
Thought I'd try and sound a bit more Scottish.
Hello world.